There's people here first.
I would like to have gotten into that vent.
A spider drone.
You just see as it's flying towards Pappy, his eyes just sort of widen and it just...
yeah, right.
I am going to go up to the bar, signaling the bartender. I imagine I am basically camouflaged and invisible.
Are you experiencing some kind of muscular dystrophy?
Jay turns around like ready to give a plan and just sees Pappy halfway into a vent already.
Chaag just gone for the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Jane's like, all right, I will adjust my plan.
I think they know who I am.
Did you tell Jane that they know who she is as well?
Oh, Dexheart. Oh, that's your last name.
I was going to say, it did not register that was Jane.
I never knew your last
That's
name.
Jane at all?
You now recognize the person who you stole the diamond necklace from in the first place.
I guess I'm going to try and bob and weave through different rooms.
I'm just covering her back.
Clamped and docked is another black Corvette.
How is the ship docked? I rolled 2 2s and a 3.
Patrol fleet soldiers. Hey, get away from that! And you start sprinting
We gotta
back to the
go.
Scarab. Orchid, wait, take me with you. Pull the ship up and jet off into space.
I know somebody who might be able to help us with the cash flow and Rip Grinner.
And the Corvette, we see that figure pulling up on a screen, headshots of all 5 of you.
War right now. I love this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jester's Space Court. I am your Galaxy Master, Jonas Tintenseher, and joining me today, as always, we have Sky Swanson.
She can run fast, but not from their pass. Let's get Gargle Blast.
Nice.
Jane Dexheart.
Name.
My name's Gargle Blast, and I am your captain.
Blast. Jane Gargle Blast.
Jane Gargle. That's going to be my Starfinder character, is Gargle Blaster. That's his name. Rachel Kordell.
Your blue kid on the block. I'm Taloo Davuna.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Love that.
It's nice to have ones from last week sitting up.
We have Casey Reardon.
An old humanoid who knows the eye travels with the asteroids. It's Pappy.
Nice.
Precious my boo.
Cool.
It's good. Free. There was blank verse. Free. No meter there. It was just a cool rhyme.
Yep. Sure.
That's a poetry joke for you poetry nerds out there.
Don't-
Anyway, we have Seth Coveyou.
And some snaps.
And I played I played Chaag.
Yeah.
Who is?
What would you describe Chaag as?
Yeah. If you had to say 2 words to describe Chaag,
2 words?
2 words in an article, like A
In an
was,
article.
yeah.
And fuck, damn. I don't know. It just snapped at the camera and it threw me off. I was supposed to be talking and you started snapping through my thing.
Oh, you've been Pavloved.
Can we start over?
sorry.
Can we start with Sky again?
Sure, yeah.
Sky
She can run fast, but not from their pass. Fuck it.
Shut
Let's
up.
get Gargle Blast.
Shut up. I'm all right now. I'm back. I played Chaag.
It's Seth
a mineral
Coveyou.
badass. No. We're throwing this out. Guys, this episode's a do-over.
Off to a great start.
And speaking of great starts, we have Andrew Frost.
Hello, I'm playing your aspirin dispensing automaton, Melvin.
Ooh.
I would like some aspirin right now, please.
Oh, we'll wait until the end of the session. You're going to need it more by then.
I'll settle for a Xanax.
The crew of the Scarab, having delivered a mysterious artifact from the broken planet of Godsbin to their fixer, found their fixer dead and some kind of strange black armored soldiers after them, calling themselves the Furies. And although the crew managed to escape from Club Carcino on the planet of Skyline with the artifact in tow and a new passenger in the form of their fixer's now jobless bodyguard, it seems that whoever is on their tail has already seen their faces and their ship, and they are, what's a more exciting word than leaving?
Going?
So they are
going
straight
away from the
escaping?
place they were.
Running.
They
This-
are ungoing.
I'm going.
Irish goodbye.
They're unhearing.
Hearing I like a lot.
The Scarab flies, escapes, flees many velocity-based words.
It goes away from the place it was.
I don't even know how to complete this sentence.
I think this is my favorite start to an episode we've had so far.
Do we want to just say some words of affirmation, Jonas? Like repeat after me.
No.
I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I'm a writer.
Oh, now I gotta leave this all in. The Scarab jets out of the skyline docks
There you go.
into the Reiko Fade Gate, seeking an old friend / professional racer to hopefully get them back on their space feet. But before we get into that,
What is going on?
that was
Hey,
that was an intentional joke. You fuck.
I'm proud of you.
Pappy has his space suite. We got space bar, space drinks, and space feet. That's, like your sea legs. You got your space feet. Don't come at me.
You know what? I'm thoroughly convinced now. You got me.
It's in the fiction.
That is a known trope.
It's lore
that
now.
Whenever there's something in space, it's space that thing.
That is true.
Before we enter the warp lane to the Fade system, however, we've had an exciting couple of sessions here, and everyone has gained some experience from their trials and tribulations with this 20-sided artifact. So in the spirit of showcasing the system, we're going to run through real quick and talk about what everyone has learned in the last 3 episodes, starting with Chaag. What did you get your level up?
When I got my level up?
What did you put your advancement into?
Oh, okay. I put most of my advancement into prowess. So I leveled up. I got 1 more dot in scrap. So a total of 3 there now.
Living up to the mineral badass name.
Derp.
Taloo. I think actually, Taloo, you're the only one who hasn't actually filled a track yet, right? Because you split your XP up.
Yeah, I haven't filled everything. I put 1 in playbook and 1 in prowess. Getting close in prowess. I have 2 more dots left to fill it. But yeah.
We'll see what comes of our mystics soon enough, I'm sure.
Yes.
Jane.
I filled up my resolve track and gave myself a 3rd point into sway. So that's really nice. And then I put some more into playbook, hoping that eventually I'll be able to unlock another fun ability. But I won't reveal what that ability will be till we get there.
Exciting. Melvin, what is our programmable practitioner got at their advancement?
In the same vein as Sky and Seth, I decided that I should focus on kind of bringing up my current traits to their maximum potential. So I decided to level up my insight a little bit, and now we're at 3 bars in Doctor.
That is 1 PhD Holden android. And what's our pilot Pappy got for us?
Yeah, I ended up increasing my playbook all the way and got a new ability called Leaf on the Wind, which makes me a little bit better under stress.
Understood. Stab Pappy in the chest.
I was thinking the same thing.
As the Scarab sails up to the Reiko Fade jump gate, we pan out over the blackness of space, the endless stars. And even though we don't see any difference, there is a change in the air of which there is none in space. A 2-person fighter sails across our view, racing between the twin stars of the Fade system. And following behind are several other larger ships, corvettes, freighters, and scout craft in hot pursuit. Down in the cockpit of this small ship built, really, it's a personal craft. It's not meant for these kind of high-speed maneuvers. And yet, inside, we see 2 figures. One is someone we recognize as Pappy. What do we notice about you in this flashback?
Well, the first thing you notice is he has a beautiful, lush, full head of hair.
Salt and pepper?
Yeah, he's got some salt and pepper, kind of silver foxing a little bit. He does not have the same pudge that he does at this point. And I think you can see, like, there's a very nice glint in his eye that he's very much enjoying this chase.
And all those physical differences are so weird because this was only like 6 months ago. Yeah. So in the co-pilot seat next to Pappy, we also see a kind of similarly attired figure who is humanoid with 2 little antennae at the top of his forehead and dark kind of greenish gray skin with bright glowing yellow eyes. He's got a mechanic's getup, some grease stains, and a hip leather jacket. And as you guys are trying to evade these pursuers, comms come over the radio saying like,
pull of the craft, we will arrest you immediately. You are carrying stolen goods from the Compass Alliance.
And this greenish gray figure looks to you, Pappy, and says, you done this before?
Yeah, plenty of times. They never seem to catch on that if you tell them that if you pull over, you're going to arrest them, that people don't want to pull over at that
point. The craft sails through the web of coronal mass ejections between the twin stars of Fade. And Pappy, I'm going to ask you to roll here to see how quickly you get away from these pursuers. In this
sure. I'm going to go ahead and roll helm on this one.
Yep, that's what'll do it.
Solid.
Sergeant, has anyone ever pulled over?
has anyone ever pulled over?
Not in this sector.
Ooh, I kind of want to use one of my abilities at this point. I'm going to exceed the specs here, which...
Sure, this is a flashback. It's not even your real ship.
I know, exactly. I can break it all I want. Basically, I get to damage a part of the ship's systems in order to have access to an extra die. All right. That is going to be a 5.
A 5, yeah. That's a mixed success. You slam your fist down on the console, the engines of this small craft roar, and you jet through the Cinder Web between the 2 stars, and all of the pursuit craft behind you are frankly unable to match your speed or your handling. Your co-pilot Rip in his seat is kind of like pressed back into his chair, and we get that, like his mouth and opens up. You see all his teeth and his lips are wobbling from the speed. And then as you jet out, we kind of like match cut to a mechanics kind of way station on the outskirts of the Fade system. This is just a small refueling spot with a couple of bars, a couple of like hotels and places for spacers to stay, and a huge hangar with, probably dozens of ships and people working here at the time. This 2-person craft comes in, smoking, sparking, and almost before you can open the door and get out, you hear this shout at you that says, Rip, what are you... Dad. And a young human woman comes out in a full mechanics coveralls with like a toolbox in hand, 3 like hover drones following behind her. She's got her hair tied back in a bun, short brown hair, and like a sharp face that we can kind of see pieces of Pappy in. She comes out and says, what did you do? I have been calling all day and you didn't respond, and now I hear on the sub-ether there were police craft in the sector looking for people who looked an awful lot like you.
No, they didn't see nothing, honey. Don't worry about it.
Don't call me honey. She reaches in, grabs Rip by the collar and yanks him out of his seat, and just like not violently shakes him, but just like pulls him for a little bit. Is like, I had to take the kids out to Whale Gulch all day. I lost a day's paycheck because I had to watch them as they wanted to see all the whale spawning by the old busted up jump gate, and we are out like 300 credits. There is so much that we need to... Why did you do anything with him? And Rip is just like stammering, like, he just said it would be easy. He didn't, it wasn't supposed to, we get,
Pappy like walks up. Pappy walks up and places a hand on Rip's shoulder and says, don't worry a thing, darling. Like I said, we're going to have more than enough to cover your day's wages.
With that, we smash cut to the present time as the Scarab is pulling into this same space station, and we can see that this mechanic, Farla, is already like tapping her foot, waiting at the bay, with Rip Grinner kind of in the background working on his own personal craft that he's upgraded to since the incident. She looks almost exactly the same, except she's just a few years older. There's no indication that any amount of money has made her life easier in recent years. Yeah, Pappy, do you warn your crew at all about what's about to go down?
Probably not. I think Chaag probably has met at Farla, and I think Farla probably likes Chaag, but does not like me.
Okay. So the Scarab pulls in, the docking ramp opens, and I want to know who gets out first.
I think I probably would.
Yeah, I would think Pappy would lead the way there.
She throws a wrench at your head.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to take a level 1 harm wrenched unless you resist.
I'm going to resist, yeah.
Okay.
Level 1 harm, wrench.
That's a 6.
A 6? Okay, so
I was
no stress
expecting
for
it.
you. Yeah, absolutely. You just you duck under, the wrench tings off of one of Chaag's shoulders.
Oh, hey, cool. Look at that. I pocket the wrench.
Pocket the wrench? Okay, you have a wrench.
I touched the ship manifest right underneath the hover dolly.
It's not in the manifest. I mean, I have a spanner wrench from when Pappy wouldn't let me do ship repairs while high, and now I have a wrench that got thrown at me, hit me in the shoulder.
Ah, there you go.
Gonna build your own repair kit.
Yeah.
One wrench at a time, baby.
There you go.
Farla leans past Pappy and says, "Sorry, Chaag." Kind of like comes up to you, Pappy, and a rehash of the same conversation you've had many times over.
Yeah.
But kind of pulls you aside, just whispering in this hushed, angry tones out of earshot of your crew. And the rest of you guys, what are you thinking as you look upon this? How many of you knew about Farla? How many of you knew about this station or anything here?
Taloo definitely doesn't know any of this or any of the backstory, so she's like probably like kind of silent, like I don't know, laughing about the situation, like, ooh, drama. That sucks.
Yeah, I assume Melvin wouldn't know either. Actually, he will turn to Chaag and just go like, Chaag, did you know about Pappy's spawn?
Spawn. No,
Child.
Oh, yes. I thought you were talking about fish. No, I didn't think he had fish. No, he's got just the one kid.
Why does he not speak of her?
He's a poor father.
Previous actions will confirm that, now that I do consider. Carrying on.
I don't know how I was going to hide that one. It's pretty obvious.
Can't be sugar-coated.
I think Jane knows of them, but has never met them before through conversation, because this doesn't seem a particular like hidden thing, but it also doesn't seem like something that would just kind of come up in conversation that often. So I think Jane is eager to meet them, and I should probably just get into character real fast here.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
Committing to the bit. I really do respect that.
So Jane holding I'm going to say mojito right now. We'll head down the gangplank and sort of interject Pappy and Farla, or Farla's kind of like hush yelling at Pappy right now. It's just like, I don't mean to interject too much here, but I did hear that you're the best mechanic on this side of the sector.
Ooh. She gives you, like, she cocks an eyebrow at you as she's, half berating Pappy. And she says...
Jay just takes a long sip of the drink.
Taloo likes that.
Thank you. Hated that.
That will not be making the episode.
I like the eye contact while that happens too. Just
Farla cocks an eyebrow at you and says, "Well, I don't know who you heard that from, because I know Pappy doesn't talk about me like that."
Oh, I don't need Pappy to hear about you, Farla.
She
Before she gave a response, Jane will hold out a hand there, like a firm, and offer a firm handshake. Jane Dexheart.
hitting on my pilot's
She
daughter.
Yeah.
Jane's just being polite.
Okay.
She takes your hand. She gives you a firm handshake. She says Farla Zeu, which you might notice is not Pappy's last name. I know a thing or two about ships. I guess you could say that much.
I lean down to Melvin. I know more than 2 things about ships.
Is there something? I'm assuming you came here for a reason, because this one does not like to see me on a regular basis.
Yeah, as this conversation's happening, Pappy's going to try and sneak over towards Rip.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll Skulk, but I don't have any points in Skulk, so we'll see how this goes.
Sure.
I got a 4.
Jay, yeah. So Jay, she introduced herself to you, and she asks what you're here for, because she knows it wasn't Pappy. And you look around, Pappy seems to have slipped away from the conversation.
Jay knows to keep Farla distracted right now. So Jane kind of like saws like arm around the shoulder. She's like, well, it's an old clunker. It starts like walking her up into the ship. Yeah, it's a freighter. I'm not sure what the designation is, to be honest. We just call it Scarab because that's kind of cool name. You know, desert beetle and whatnot. And just like fully just like trying to walk and talk her straight inside.
She'll follow. Yeah. The last thing we see in that shot, though, is of her just sliding your arm off of her shoulders as you disappear up into the ship.
Jay just like fully works with that. Just like keeps going and be like, another hand for another drink. You like mojitos?
Pappy, you slip over to Rip. He's kind of, he's in that classic mechanics pose on the sliding. It's a hoverboard underneath his personal racer craft. Which is not really how spaceships should be repaired, but this is, space opera, so everything's like the 50s. And he's underneath tinkering with an astro tool. You kind of like nudge the board, and he hovers, pushes out, hovers down, and goes, "Hey, I'm in the middle. Hey, what are you doing here?"
Hey there, Rip. How you doing, bud?
I mean, I'm doing fine. Is there a reason you came into here unannounced?
Yeah. So, me and my crew here are looking for a little bit of a job.
I wave.
You see, like, his skin is already kind of green-gray, and as you say that, like, all of the remaining color in his face just leaches out, and he is just this pale gray sheet. You see his little antenna droop a little bit as well, and he goes, "Oh, come on, Pappy, you can't... I just got in good with Farla again after that incident, the last time you and I worked together. The kids, I remember all their names. We just celebrated the youngest one's birthday. I can't be getting involved with you right now."
Listen, I'm not trying to get you involved or anything like that. I'm just looking for some contacts. You can stay as far away from it as you want. That's up to you. All right? But we needed a place to maybe take a little bit of heat off from some of the other sectors, and, I figured you might want in on the cut, at least.
So, Rip is your friend. Rip does think fondly of you, despite your history. Being unannounced, kind of jumped in here with Farla around, you're going to have to make some kind of roll to convince him.
Sure.
Now, it sounds like you're trying to make a deal that could be a consort.
I have another idea as well. And I'm going to say, all right, Rip, you know what? I understand that you might not want anything to do with this, and that's fine. But how about a little wager?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell, I've heard at the very least that you've become a bit of a big shot racer as it is now, right?
You look over, we see the craft he's been working on, which is this heavily modded one-man racecraft with Sunskipper emblems blazoned on the side, the premier racing faction in the Ceta sector. And he kind of, yeah.
Well, you learned everything you know from me, so how about we test it? I win, and you gotta help us out finding this job. We don't have to involve Farla at all, and you can just point me in the direction of your contacts. Or, if I lose, well then, you won't ever have to worry about me again.
Aww.
Ooh.
He's like, it's not that I don't want to worry about you, Pappy. It's just you drive a wedge between me and my wife, and I can't make that choice right now.
Pappy kind of slowly nods.
More like trying to let you down gently more
Sure.
than he seems excited about it. But he's like, "What's the wager?"
Just a friendly race between friends, like old times.
If you're looking to race, Pappy, he looks over, he sees Farla has not come down out of the ship.
I think this is the engine room, but to be honest, I always get it confused with the cafeteria.
All right. The Sun Skippers are holding a race in a couple of days that I'm in space pole position for. And I'll tell you what, I can get you an entrance. The prize pool is pretty decent, and if you can maybe manage to beat me, you might make some money. But that's as much as I can offer you, and I cannot be seen talking to you right now.
Pappy kind of looks down and nods a bit. And he says, all right, Rip, just promise me something.
Yeah?
Try and keep your nose clean. Don't make the same mistakes I did with her. And he's gonna just kind of turn and walk away.
He reaches up, and he actually doesn't have a nose as his alien species. It's just this flat nub, and he goes, some kind of human expression. Yeah, I'll figure it out. He goes back to working on his craft. We cut to inside the Scarab. Jane, you've been showing Farla around, and eventually you get to the cargo hold where Orchid has been hiding out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to try and keep Orchid like not let her presence be known, or do you not care that much?
I don't think there's any... Jane, as far as you know, there's no reason to keep them hidden from each other, because in the galaxy, what are the chances that they know each other? So she doesn't.
Yeah. So Orchid kind of is creeping around behind things. Jane shows around, and Orchid, you don't give any warning or anything. She spots this giant 8-foot tall pink-white mantis, and she goes, oh, Kydian. Didn't know you had a Kydian crew member on Pappy's ship. Well, I guess it's not Pappy's ship, is it? Sorry, Chaag. Just to out toward the back of the ship where Chaag is with Melvin.
What are you sorry about?
I believe she's apologizing for assuming that the ship was Pappy's. Meanwhile, it is under your name in the deed.
Oh.
Y'all have added quite a number of interesting characters to your crew since the last time I saw them.
Yeah, and a pretty good intercom system as well. The crew keeps getting weirder every day, and yeah.
Oh, all right, fine.
She looks around, and you can see as she's kind of inspecting the Scarab, it's not an amazingly well put together ship, but as it has been refitted for smuggling and blockade running and all these kinds of things, it has a lot of character to it. It's been well maintained. Pappy does run a pretty tight ship, and there is some fondness in her face of this is good work. This is what spacing is about. She says, look, Jane, I've heard a thing or two about you, and I won't ask why you're involved with him.
I mean, I hope only good things. Chasing a huge sip from a mood. Knowing whatever they've heard is probably terrible.
All I'll say is you keep your wits together about that man. He's one ship to the next. He's always on the move, and he moves too fast for anyone to keep up.
I don't know about this time. Him and Chaag have, they seem pretty bonded right now. I think your old man's changed a bit since you last seen him.
Yeah, Chaag, of course, is the upstanding former pirate. Murder of innocents and theft of the highest degree, sure.
I'm not saying what we do is good. I just think, there's a chance they could be more involved. Jane would just simply mention, hey, I saw the speeder you working on out there. You ever work on starfighters?
They come in once or twice a cycle for repairs. It's not really my kind of thing. Don't try to get involved with any kind of shady business, but, people need work done. I do the work.
No? How much money you make as a mechanic, would you say, on a regular basis?
Couple hundred credits a cycle.
That's all?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. That's good, honest money right there, but...
Keeps food on the plates and grease on the hover actuators.
Grease on
the wheels.
Grease.
Grease on the hover boards. Yeah.
Yeah, the cogs. The spaceship has
The cogs that cogs that make it hover. That's
we
how it
still have
works.
analog clocks in the spaceship. It's very cool, very vintage.
Well, listen, and
Actually steam-powered.
we're walking out towards the back of the Jane. She's sure that whatever business Pappy was up to is over at this point. Well, listen, you ever need a couple extra credits or a little bit of extra work, or just get tired of being tied down to a singular station? You give me a call. And she just like out of nowhere like flicks out a card, hands it to her.
I think we'll call this some kind of fortune roll to see exactly how well she takes this, given the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to talk to Farla. Ask
Yeah.
her one question.
So as you guys are coming down off the ramp, Chaag and Melvin are there. Taloo is presumably off to the side, trying not to be noticed.
Pretty much, yeah.
Farla, that's Taloo Davuna.
Oh, did you say Taloo Davuna? Am I pronouncing that right? Taloo Davuna. Everyone in the station starts going, Taloo Davuna. Mark that down on the registry.
Yeah, make sure
zoom
to
out from
get the
like,
apostrophe.
into the entire
Say it a few
sector.
times,
Taloo
yeah.
Davuna.
Her
That-
name was
that-
Toad.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks.
It's fine. Now you know their name. Practice it a few more times.
Totally
Totally
fine.
committed to
Taloo
memory
Davuna.
forever. Have you seen a black Corvette unmarked? Came in with blaster damage.
No, nothing like that. Not recently. You got someone hunting for you? And you can see there's like this bitterness in her face.
Jade is like over her shoulder, like slightly behind, just giving me like, shut up, like
Oh,
hand across the neck, just like, stop it.
I thought it would be an interesting hypothetical.
That is interesting.
If I may interrupt, I did notice you said not recently. Did you have one show within the last couple of months?
I mean, Black Corvette, without more specifics on the ship class or registration, I can't say for sure, but some people, they like it goth, I guess.
The paint used seemed to be some kind of light-absorbing material, as it appeared very dark and almost matte. Does that seem familiar?
Now that is interesting. That kind of stuff is regulated by the Alliance because of its capabilities for prevent detection in space, and can't say anything like that's come through here in my memory.
Well, thanks for the information. And, whether you're near love, Farla, or wherever you are, La, you give me a ring if you're looking for more work.
What was the result of that roll?
Boy, they did
yeah.
it. They really did it.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right,
take
a
that
dollar for you,
dollar.
Sky.
Sky, I want you to know, I just got a Charlie horse right when you said that. I don't know what kind of juju you just did, but my leg will never be the same.
I'm just trying to charm her. Jane is always looking for those opportunities for further business. So I think this is a full sway.
Okay.
So 3d6. Okay, I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 6, baby. That's a full success.
Full success. She takes the card and she slips it into a pocket on her coveralls and she says, "Thank you, Captain Dexheart. I'll keep that in mind." And with that, unless anyone has anything else, we're gonna smash cut to this race.
Yeah, pod
Yeah.
racing.
All right.
Are you gonna try and run a clean race? Or are you gonna try and go off the grid? What is your intent as we get into this lineup?
Well, Pappy, what kind of race are you trying to run?
Man, I'm trying to do better.
So you're going to run a clean race?
I'm gonna prepare to not run a clean race, but I'm gonna try and make it clean
Intend to run
until
clean,
I'm gonna lose.
Prepare to
Yeah,
get dirty.
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Jane might turn to the rest of the crew if Pappy's like, I'm going to run, let's run a clean race, but maybe not that clean. Jane afterwards is like, I don't know if I trust Pappy. Let's all plan a heist to steal all that prize money, right?
Wait, what?
I guess that's fair.
Can't do that.
Just in case things go wrong. We want to make sure that we get something out of this.
I thought the prize was that they just hook us up with another job.
Well, there's that prize, but then there's also a shitload of prize money.
Oh, it doesn't seem fair.
What's not fair about it?
I like Pappy.
I like Pappy too.
Thank you, Chaag.
Oh, Pappy, you're here. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
What? I thought you walked away within the fictional manifestation of this world that we
were
cannot
talking behind your
visually see.
back. Why are you here? The intercoms on this ship are just too good.
My ears are on.
Oh, the intercom is just
I'm walking away
unbelievable.
now. Yes, and I'm right back where we started. I heard you were talking shit. Get in.
I didn't say I was walking away.
But honestly,
We are going to race in a Sunskipper sponsored race through the Fade sector. There are a number of way beacons that have been set up, and as with any Sunskipper race, part of this race is going to take you through the Cinder Web between Fade's twin stars, Fade Alpha and Fade Beta. As part of Scum and Villaini's overall desire to skip to the action, we don't really worry about how you get there or, what's sort of involved in like all the details of your plan. We handle that stuff with flashbacks. Instead, we care about what your position is when the action starts. And we resolve that with the engagement roll. Now we start with 1 die for sheer luck. We add 1 die if the operation is particularly bold or daring, which, given that you are racing through through the Cinder Web, it is. Any Sunskipper sponsored race is going to be daring. Your detail is just, you're going to kind of run a clean race, so no bonus or negative dice from that. Your friend Rip provided the insight for this operation, so we add a die for that. And other elements we want to consider, I'm going to take away a die for secret reasons.
Someone else ain't flying clean.
So we are at 2 dice, I believe, and we will see what our engagement is here. Unless, actually, does someone else want to roll this? Because it's more fun. Roll 2 dice, Seth.
4.
A 4. Okay, so that's normal. That's a risky position to start. Set the scene. You guys are on the blocks. You guys are in orbit around Haruna, this aquatic ocean planet that is sort of this neutral ground in the Cetus sector for various reasons. There are probably 20 to 30 different ships here, which is not that many for a Sunskipper sponsored race. This is kind of the edge of the circuit. It's not a main event this season. You see Rip is there in his personal spacecraft. You guys are there in the Scarab. There are a number of other ships here. You don't see a Black Corvette. Several ships that are just clearly rip-offs of other better-known sci-fi properties who are all pixelated so that we don't get copyright struck.
Hey, is that the fruit fly?
Fruit
whole
fly.
ass, what is it? Centennial Hawk?
I think that's tranquility.
The Centennial Osprey. Yeah.
Centennial
Tranquility. That's a good one. The Sunskippers put up a feed across everyone's ships of their AI assistant, who is like a little glowing star, who is holding up 2 traditional like checkered flags. Yes, Seth?
I have one more.
Another ship?
Yeah, the CS entrepreneur.
Good.
Damn it, you stole my joke.
I was wondering how to get there and I couldn't figure it out, so I just left it. And the little animated sun AI assistant raises one flag, raises the other flag, and drops both of them, and engines roar. The gather ships all take off at high speed on their sublight engines, making for the first way beacon. And as part of this score, I want to know sort of where everyone is in the ship. Are you just kind of letting Pappy do his thing? Are you helping out? Are you watching the engines? Are you like charting the path? What's sort of the objective here of everyone?
I'm flying the ship.
Pappy's flying the ship as a given.
It's because Melvin's going to be in the engine room because he does have a little bit of work in rig.
Okay.
I think I don't know if this would count as an ability, but like I kind of want to use the eye for like insight into like what moves would be advantageous in the race as kind of like an advisor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. This is sort of a gather information roll, so again, no real consequence here, but you're going to roll something to see sort of what quality of sense you get.
Roll a
Probably
tune.
a tune, yeah.
Most definitely a tune. Solid. I got a 6.
A 6. Okay. I'll circle back that around. Jane, Chaag.
Chaag, why don't you sit in the guns just in case?
Yeah, you never know, like a rogue asteroid or something. Like you gotta explode it.
Whoa,
That's heresy
hold on.
right
Do
there.
not
That's
shoot those
heresy.
asteroids. What?
Oh, darn. All right. Well, never mind.
If I see your god, Pappy, I'll shoot it.
I swear to God, Chaag.
All right, so Jane's on charts, Melvin's in engines, Chaag's on guns, just in case. Taloo is trying to sense some assistance, and Pappy's in pilot. Pappy, why don't you also go ahead and roll here? This is there are consequences here. This is risky standard, though, because that is your opening position.
Yeah, all right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and roll Helm, then. With Taloo's roll, do I get an assist die?
I'll give you increased effect, as that's a setup maneuver there.
Cool.
And Taloo, what you hear is as you're trying to attune with the eye, as the little sun animated thing waves the flags, engines roar, ships take off, you start trying to tune in with the eye, and you hear this little voice say, "The sun, the sun, the sun, the sun.
The sun.
It's so warm and bright. Bring me closer."
The sun, close to the sun. Bring me to this.
Does the voice sound familiar?
It kind of sounds a little bit like something you heard recently.
Yeah.
Huh.
Rocks don't talk.
Says the rock.
He says somewhere on the ship, I'm offended.
Rachel being aware, Taloo not. I usually wouldn't advise flying close to the sun, but that might be what we're looking at here.
Well,
I'm
I got
not
a
sure.
4 on my Helm roll.
4. Okay. So, ship's roar, Taloo is trying to make sense of this voice that she's hearing. You guys take off, blazing past the first beacon that's been dropped in space for the racers to pass by. And you see Rip is like kind of holding back a little bit, to the point where as you reach the first beacon, you can see him on your visual sensors, which is very like short distance for space. And as you guys kind of catch up that first way beacon, he transmit this little video feed of him just like saluting gently and then blasting off, his engines roaring. You gun the Scarab's engines as hard as you can, trying to make forward, but you're not quite able to keep pace. This just isn't a racing ship, it's a transport ship. So you're somewhere in the middle of the pack as you guys approach the Cinder Web. Between Fade Alpha and Fade Beta is this constant, evolving, shifting web of ejections and solar flares between the two suns that the Sunskippers use for initiation and all of their races. Pappy, as you soar through the Cinder Web, the first thing that happens is the Scarab is not equipped to deal with this kind of thing, and it's going to take 2 points of damage from the solar radiation here.
Okay.
It's on you guys as a group to determine where those damage points go. You can put them both in hull or engines. You can split them out. That's on you.
I'd say put a boat in the hull. Let's keep them engines burning hot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
for
it's
now.
probably a good idea.
It looks like we have one in debt. Can we put one of the damages into our debt?
Jonas, just out of curiosity,
Mhm.
Obviously we would know the racing path, so do we have to go back through? Like, is it a loop?
It's a loop, but not back through the web. No.
Gotcha. Okay, then let's take both to the hole.
I'm
Okay.
down for it.
Yep.
Do it.
You guys pass through the Cinder Web, and immediately radiation overwhelms the Scarab. All the lights in the ship briefly go out before the emergency lights come back on. Melvin, you're in the engines, and they strain to take the heat, but they keep it going. Heat sinks are working overtime, radiation flying off into space, trying to vent as much of it as you can. The second thing that happens is, as you guys are passing through the Cinder Web, and we see the Scarab silhouetted against Fade Alpha, this huge glowing golden star between the blue light of Fade Beta, a darker shape comes behind the Scarab.
Oh no.
Pitch black, as though it's a hole through the sun into space.
Uh-oh.
And as in that moment where the power cuts out and your systems are coming back online, you all hear this metallic thunk reverberate through the hull. And then the unmistakable sound of boarding clamps and photon saws cutting through the Scarab's hull into your ship.
Pappy, that's not good.
Taloo, you are starting to get like overwhelmed with the noise of this voice just screaming, "The sun, the sun, the sun!" So joyful and happy, like a child getting ice cream. Doesn't seem to care about what else is happening, though.
Yeah, Taloo is going to connect. That is, maybe if we get too close to the sun, it'll maybe burn out our what do you call them? Visitors, hijackers.
A huge clang rings out through the ship as a chunk of hull is dissolved and crumbles into the main spine of the ship's corridors. Jane, you're like in a nearby room. You hear the clang, and you can hear this radio helmet voice saying,
You've got them. They weren't expecting us. Spread out and find the artifact.
And black-suited thugs rappel down into the ship. What do you guys do?
Hello. I just start firing again. Okay. Like, I like the idea that there's like no one there when they drop down, but I'm just a little bit down the hall and ready for them to just walk in and be like, okay, fine.
You were just getting a refill on your Bloody Mary. You just come around with like a little canteen.
I don't drink.
No, only Jane drinks.
That's a Jane thing.
What?
That's a Jane thing.
You got gargle blasted last time.
You did get gargle blasted last time.
That's different.
I'm on a job right now. This is
I was thinking you're nursing your hangover.
Chaag has a work ethic.
You come around and just instantly draw and start firing. What is everyone else doing?
Yeah, I think Jane would get over the comms right now and just sort of be like, Pappy, don't you leave that pilot seat. You keep getting us that gold, all right? We need that first place right now.
You got it, Jane.
Chaag, I assume you're already handling the visitors? And then just
You just
over
hear
the
gunfire,
intercom,
yeah.
just blaster fire and whatnot.
Yep. Me and Duke are here.
All right. Taloo, why don't you meet me near the aft and we could try and flank on Chaag there. He's one-man army. Should be fine. Melvin.
I hear screaming and explosions. What is going on?
Melvin, you any good at hacking?
I can manage. My interfacing is not as good, but I can attempt.
Do you think you could somehow get those clamps off of us? I don't care if our visitors stay. We just got to get going.
I can try my best.
All right. And she cuts out the comm and there's a plan. Whether people listen to the plan or not is totally up to them. But Jane sort of circumnavigating, she like gets into like an air duct. They know the ship way better than them to go meet up in the aft and try and fly.
Plenty of smugglers' corridors and things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Taloo. Before she'd probably leave to go help, but she'd look at Pappy first and be like, "You think you got this?
Don't worry about me. I got it."
Okay, the sun. It's towards the sun, and I'm just like,
That's
gonna, like
away
finger
from the
guns
race.
and like back, like towards the sun. I don't know, and then I'll leave.
Taloo, you start sneaking your way back to the aft of the ship to meet up with Jane. I'm going to ask, you guys don't need to roll to do that because they're not like looking for you specifically. Chaag, you're trying to take their attention and the heat is all on you. So we're gonna.
I'm trying to annihilate them.
Sure, still focused on you. So Chaag is gonna roll to deal with these guys. Depending on like, I guess if you're trying to annihilate them, it's probably scrap because you're on the offensive here.
I rolled.
I think with this new like Pappy, you're still able to pilot the whatever is clamping onto your ship is not holding you back at all. Like it's not firing retro thrusters, but it does add a dimension to the difficulty of this race that I'm going to ask you to roll again for. And Melvin, as you are like in the engines, the cores are spinning, you're trying to figure out what to do next. 6 spider bots skitter over on the ceiling underneath the sliding door into the engine room and start trying to jack into various ports and disable the engines.
Please do not do that. That is not conductive to what I must do at the moment.
How are you going to deal with this problem, Melvin?
I will look for the nearest large piece of metal and smash them.
All right. That sounds like a scrap roll to me.
With surgical precision that only a medical droid can provide.
And Chaag, what was your result?
A 5.
A 5. Okay. So you're going to take level 1 harm grazed as they start firing back, but you don't see a figure in the black armor yet. You only see these regular black suited troopers firing at you with their blast rifles, but you know the ship better than they do. You're taking cover, you're firing back at, and hit one on the shoulder, goes, ugh! Collapses down on the ground. Another one knock his blaster out of his hands. A third one straight in the chest and goes flying backwards. But as you're taking them out, more of them are coming down from whatever this attachment is. Jane and Taloo, you emerge from your smuggler's back pathways on the opposite side of the ship, flanking these guys as more and more of them piling down. You have the drop on them. What are you guys doing?
I have an idea for something that would look cool, but Taloo, I want to hear from you as well.
Just based on your basic description, I don't know, I kind of pictured like some cross hallway, Chaag like leaning him forward, and then Jane and I coming in from the sides, but that's what came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that we could do a like little distraction and ambush as they're like heading this way, where Jane serves as the distraction, and then you're inside of a smuggler compartment.
Perfect.
And can jump out. But if we want to go for more of a pincer maneuver and try and just cut them all off, I'm also down for that. What do you think?
Why not both? We'll start with with our thing, probably.
Okay, yeah. All right, so Jade is going to serve as distraction and, just like, I surrender. You can take all these idiots. I hate this place so much. Like, lead him down a hallway, and meanwhile, Taloo's in a smuggler's compartment and can leap out to hopefully handle quite a few of them.
All right. Pappy, what'd you get?
So is there any, like, other obstacles besides the twin suns?
Obstacles in space, not so much. This is a navigation and engine test. Unless you want there to be obstacles. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I would like, maybe, perhaps, for there to be an asteroid, as I would love there to be one.
So the next way beacon past the Cinder Web is equipped with tractor beams, and it has specifically pulled in dozens of asteroids within the radius you need to pass by it to count as a checkpoint. So it is specifically creating this little asteroid thicket that racers are having to pass through. And you can see as you're approaching it, one person has already hit one of the rocks and exploded. And there's just like a frozen reptilian corpse drifting in space.
Take that, Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's a man-made asteroid field.
Both of the reptilians' frozen, rigor mortis hands, though, are doing the rock-on symbol.
The little devil horns?
Yeah, little devil horns.
Here's what I would like to do. I'd say I know this ship pretty well.
You do?
I've been flying it for a while now. I know the extent of its dimensions. I would like to try and scrape this ship off of me with one of these asteroids.
Oh my god, that's insane.
That's great.
We're all gonna die.
There's a hole. There's a hole in the ship. They made a hole to get in. If you hit it off.
Listen, baby, that's space. That's the catchphrase. That's space, baby.
I assume they had some sort of like boarding thing that like sealed the compartment so that they could get in without like introducing the vacuum of space.
We'll find out. This roll is not risky standard. This is desperate position, limited effect. Because asteroids are not meant to do this.
Okay, I have multiple ways I'm adding more dice to this.
You can push yourself for dice. You can spend gambits for more dice, which I'll remind you all, those are a crew pool you guys have not used yet.
Yep, that's what I was planning on doing.
And you can also take a chaos bargain, which will be true no matter what.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, because of course, I am a leaf on the wind.
Yeah.
So when I push myself, I can spend an additional stress to gain +1 effect and +1 die.
Right, so that'll take you up to standard effect.
Yep, I am going to spend one of the gambits for another die for 4.
What?
And then might as well accept that chaos bargain.
Okay, the chaos bargain is success or fail. The person you don't want to be on the ship will have gotten on the ship by the time you get it off. Or if you don't get it off, they'll be on the ship. The chaos bargain is a Fury will be on board the Scarab.
Right.
To be more specific.
We don't want that.
No.
Not
No, we don't.
No.
I think
You think 4 dice is good enough?
I think your 4 is good enough.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna attempt it with 4.
Good.
As it's painted on the side of the ship, we're gonna live forever.
Yep. All right, here we go.
I hope this is just like all threes.
This helm roll that, for the love of God.
You better not scratch the paint on them squids.
I got a 4.
Okay.
Oh.
I rolled a 2, a 3, and 2 4s. I'm so upset about that.
Maybe chaos now?
As a desperate action, you get to mark prowess XP for that.
Gotcha.
As a 4, you deftly pilot this clunker of a ship through this asteroid thicket, and you hear impact. You manage to scrape something off the top of the Scarab. Whatever is like latched onto you does not fall off. whatever it came from does. Like there is a pod attached to the top of the Scarab's hull, and the ship that the pod was attached to gets knocked way off course. So you don't have a whole ton of reinforcements to deal with anymore, but you're not quite out of the woods yet. You skate underneath one of these asteroids, and you just hear this horrific wrenching and screeching of metal reverberating through the Scarab's hull. Everybody on board is like, staggers like they're on an episode of Star Trek as the whole ship is thrown out of balance. Taloo, you hear the voice that's been in your head start whining and crying like a child.
Yeah, there's probably like, oh my God, stop.
What do you mean?
I get on the comms and say, sorry about that.
Hey, how come I just lost my Sirius XM radio?
Serious, because it's a star. Melvin, what did you get on your roll?
Why did I lose my
zone.
space Sirius XM?
As Melvin readies this big ol', I'll just say it's like a steel support beam for something, or like a part of one.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say aloud,
One of my first operations as a medical emergency liaison was to assist in the physical therapy of one Garrick Teager, star spaceball player.
Okay.
He was very appreciative, and he showed me a couple of pointers.
Understood.
as he says that, he kind of changes his body language a little bit, kind of becoming much more limber than normally seen in his very upright robotic nature.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes for a swing. The reason he said that out loud is because I'm going to be using my skill, my class benefit, which is I'm a doctor, not a blank, which basically allows
in this case,
me
a spaceball player.
baseball player. Basically allows me to use my doctor rating for other tasks, with the negative being that I have to take 2 stress for it. But that's kind of just really good in general.
It's still pretty good. Yeah.
2 stress isn't that bad to deal with. So yeah, we're going to do that.
You also, because you're pushing yourself here, you also still get the bonus die. So you're at 4 dice with this.
Oh, that's great. Because that is a 6.
A 6. So you pull out this metal beam and just start thrashing and going to town on all these spider bots, squashing them like regular spiders, completely demolishing them before any of them can get a chance to jack into the engines or do anything to your ship in the slightest. And with a 6, there's not even like a strong consequence on this. There's some debris and rubble to clean up later, but you manage to keep the engine intact. And as more spider bots are piling in, you slam the console next to the door, and the doors lock down and slice another 3 of them in half.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Sick.
Are you going to stay in the engine room, or are you going to move out to help the rest of your crew?
Well, Jane told me to go basically undock the other ship.
Yeah.
So I guess I should address that.
So you slip out through the vents as Jane and Taloo are staging this distraction maneuver. Pappy's at the helm, keeping pace. You're still doing okay. You're in the middle of the pack. A couple other people seem to be freaked out by the sudden giant Corvette debris at the asteroid thicket beacon. So you're gaining a little bit on Rip at the front of the pack there. Chaag still firing away. Jane, you come out to start your bit of surrendering, and the soldiers that are firing on Chaag, are you going to stop firing while Jane does this, Chaag, or no?
Oh, I figured we were just in different, like, the ship's
No, we're
not
on the opposite
huge.
sides of a hall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then. I figured there was some space.
I mean, yeah, that's what you want it to
Well,
be.
there's a
There
lot
can
of
be. Like,
space
there's-
outside of the shit.
If I misunderstood what you meant, that's fine. We can be in a different corridor, a different room. That's totally fine. They have
I
one.
figured it was nearby, but a different corridor.
Sure. They have
That
one
way that
entry
I don't
point.
have to dodge blaster fire at the same time.
They have one entry point, but they are spreading out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys can tell you guys are coming from the aft of the ship, so they are moving mostly in your direction. They're looking for your new vault that you just cleared out and secured.
Yeah.
And these troopers come around with blaster rifles raised, and you hold your hands up, and what do you say?
So I pre-rolled for this in terms of sway, and I wonder if I should give you the result first and then roleplay accordingly, or if I should roleplay accordingly and then tell you my result.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me what you want to say first, because I have a consequence in mind.
Jane just simply goes, "Hey, idiots! Fuck you! Crap! I surrender!" And then she like drops her gun and it like goes off and just like starts spiraling down the hallway. And I got 2, 2, 2, and 2.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, or sorry, I got 3 2s. I think I just said 4 there, but I did sway. I got all 2, so she just completely whiffs it, puts a new hole through her hat.
Yeah, that's a bad failure. So we have a couple of consequences here.
I can't wait.
Pappy, as you are bringing the ship around, making your way back at sublight toward the initial way beacon, trying to push the engine as hard as they can to catch up with Rip. Whatever pod was lashed onto the ship, you suddenly hear detach and sail away. And you can tell because, you hear the clamps docking, you see on the hull cameras that they leave whatever is patching your hull, as if they're not trying to, they don't leave you open to the vacuum of space. Jane, you pull out into this corridor, hands up, and the soldiers stop, and then you drop your gun, and you hear buzzing over their comms that just says, "It's Dexheart, get her." And they just open fire on you. You're going to take level 3 harm riddled with blaster fire, unless you resist.
It's okay, I can see.
Taloo, you are in a little smuggler's compartment near the vault and waiting for Jane's signal, which you can tell has gone completely wrong. Are you going to stay in your compartment or are you going to get out?
I mean, if I peek, can I see her?
You can see Jane in the hallway getting shot at. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I would get her. Yeah, I would jump out.
You jump out.
Oh shit. Okay.
And as you leap in, Jane,
I would defend you.
Ducks for cover. You guys start trying to fight back when another figure comes around the side of the hallway, full black armor, long black cape, and a newly repaired faceplate. As Jaina Havocan pulls from underneath her armor what looks like the hilt of a sword, which is not something any of you might have seen in a long time. And she presses a button on the hilt, and a long blade of what looks like hard light extends out of the sword hilt.
How does that work?
Jedi.
No, you shut up over there. This is hard light.
It's hard light. It's not plasma.
Hard light.
It's a flashlight.
And she drives the sword into the wall of your vault. And that's where we'll call this session.
No! That's giant, everyone. I can't believe I got 3 2s.
That's so unfortunate.
That's great. Let's do.
What color is the hard light?
It's gold. It's like a sun. It's like a miniature sun.
Oh, so she's a sentinel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know what that means.
No, she's a Fury. You need to pay attention to the lore that we're.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you.
Okay, that is the good lady tantrum. She is not associated.
Good lady tantrum. That's an incredible name for a punk band. That
is a really good name for a punk band.
Let us briefly do XP.
I'm giving myself 2 for speed or flair, 2 for background. And
I think that makes sense to me.
I'm tempted to give 1 for vice, but I did slam a ship into an asteroid, so.
That's pretty cool.
I don't think that you were struggling with an issue from it in that case.
Yeah, that I will be soon. That's
All right, Chaag?
Well, I only did that 1 roll for violence. I don't think I did anything else violent today. So there's only 1 from that. And then I'm going to give myself 2 for expressing beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Had some good moments in there. Melvin?
So I did some doctoring technically.
Technically?
Maybe in a looser version.
I don't know if I would count what you did as insight or compassion. You can make a case.
No, but I expressed background.
You did.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't think there's
compassionately
anything.
defended the ship.
I mean, it's the honor system, Andrew. You give yourself what you think you deserve.
You know what?
Yeah, they just doctored their XP bonuses.
I'm going to give myself
so.
1 XP. Yeah, I'm going to go for the 1 XP, just a little pat on the back.
All right, if that's what you feel you got. Taloo.
I think I didn't really do any challenges with the eye necessarily, but I think I expressed my my background and beliefs a little bit. Maybe enough for 2.
I think you addressed the challenge of the race by trying to use the eye.
You did 1 at least.
Yeah.
With the
I mean,
eye.
I guess that's true.
There you go.
Okay.
Addressed a tough
Just because
challenge.
it was unsuccessful doesn't mean you didn't try.
Okay, that's true.
Addressed a tough.
True.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you didn't do it. Just even if it didn't end up being ultimately a solution, you still helped. You still tried.
Oh, okay. I mean, cool. I'll take 1 for that and 2 for expressing my incredible disinterest of anything as my character.
Yeah, and the whole like get closer to the sun, get closer to the sun. Why?
Yeah.
Why? That
exactly.
seems so dangerous.
I don't know. It's just what it's telling me.
Sunscreen.
So a total of 3.
Great. And Jane.
Go for 5, baby.
5.
You address a tough challenge with deception or influence. I did that twice.
Mm-hmm.
You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, background. I did that twice. And you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during the session. I drank, baby.
Yeah.
You drank.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that really gave you any issues to struggle with?
I think it did. Alcoholism is a quiet.
It affected their judgment, where instead of doing a flanking maneuver with Chaag, they were going to talk their way through
exactly
a firefight again.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually buy that. All right. Does anyone have anything they'd like to plug?
Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Majora's Rose or at Rachel Kordell for my personal stuff.
Nice. Clean. Easy. Wonderful.
I'm getting good at it.
You're doing great. I'm TINTENSEHER. You can find my Linktree, my Twitch, YouTube, and itch.io, where I publish short RPGs and things, including last month's The Machines We Built, a short RPG about robots in the apocalypse, where you can play a toaster, including a literal toaster or a figurative toaster. And this month's project, which has yet to be decided, but is sure to be something short and RPG-like. Thank you for checking out.
If you want to hear me in a different RPG podcast, go check out Apon Plays Root Campaign. I haven't plugged that in a while, and it was a lot of fun. And I think you might enjoy listening to it if you like cute woodland creatures fighting cats.
Colonialist cats.
Yeah.
Imperial cats.
French cats, the worst of all.
French cats.
No.
You know what? You could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you have Apple Podcasts, I understand. You know, I've been doing this for a bit now where I've telling people to leave reviews there. Not everyone has Apple Podcasts. I don't think Spotify or anyone else has a place for reviews, which, like, why?
It's a real shame.
I don't get why. But here's what I'm going to say. Why don't you, on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, where you can find us at RPJesters, or send us an email, rpjesters@gmail.com. Tell us what you think of Scum and Villainy so far. What do you think of that system? I think it's really cool. What are your thoughts? What did you think of D&D? What were your thoughts on that? That could be really cool. That's another way you could interact with us without, downloading and creating an Apple account just to leave us a review. I think that would be ridiculous to do. But if you did that anyway, kudos.
Yeah, thank you.
That was it.
Sky.
Okay,
Andrew,
bye.
anything to- No? Okay.